Hello, everybody. I thought while I was here, I would do my October reads, the books that I managed to read in October. I know we're not quite at the end of October yet, but I'm away next weekend, so I thought I'll get it done now. I managed to read, I'm on my sixth book, but I'll have that finished. So 6 books in a month, I don't think that's too bad at all. One of the books I don't have here, which is a shame, I've lent it to somebody at work. But yeah, it's definitely amazing, that one. So we'll start with the book that I started the month off with, which was P.D. James's Death Comes to Pemberley. As I mentioned, when I got the book from Poundland, that I'd seen the TV series first. And the book is the same but different at the same time. The ending is different. And there is rather a lot of exposition at the end. We have to kind of sit and listen to everyone's version of things, but I think that was very sticking with the time. But I don't know if P.D. James does that often. I have a couple of P.D. James books. I haven't actually managed to read all of them all the way through. The shame. But I did enjoy the book. Is what I've been doing. I've been blogging my thoughts after I finish reading the books, and I'll put the link below just in case I miss anything. You can read what I had to say. Very enjoyable. It was such as a fan of Pride and Prejudice, it's such a fangirl moment to kind of be given a peek into what happened after, and I think that was very well done by P.D. James and very woven together very well with the crime, which P.D. James is known for. So I didn't rate it. Should I rate it? Should I give it a star? I'll give it a 3. There we go. The next book that I read, and I don't have it on me, is The Silent Companions, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I lent it away, and I'm after her second book, which is just out, which is The Corset, available at the moment in hardback. Just waiting to pick it up. I might have to wait a couple of months, or I might get someone to get it me for Christmas. I'm not sure, but I love The Silent Companions. It was so well written. It was layered. It was chilling. The writing was beautiful. I loved it. I'd give it a 5. Absolutely. And I definitely think it's moved into one of my top favourites. Not 5. My top 5 has yet not been shaken. Nobody has moved in yet to take a spot from the top 5, but she's definitely in the top 10, I think. I loved it so much, and I can't wait to read The Corset. So that's that. The next book I read, and I mentioned in the video that I did when I picked it up, was Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. Is that his real name? I should Google that. And I started to read it, and I do like sci-fi and fantasy. I think I'm more of a sci-fi than a fantasy person, but I'm really happy to suspend my belief and go with it, because Harry Potter's real, so in my opinion, so that's real. It was hard for me a little bit to have genius children. Not that children can't be geniuses. It was so hard to remember that Ender was 6, and that was the bit that I found the hardest, the way he was treated as a 6-year-old. But once I got over my own thing on that, I did enjoy the story, and then some really dodgy language just started to show up, and that's when I was like, do you know what, just gonna Google, because I knew there was something about Orson, and I Googled him, and I was like, oh, which made the book a little bit more difficult to read. I know, it sounds strange to say it, but especially what he calls the aliens, and I was just like, okay. But because I didn't actually pay for this brand new, I'm not technically giving him any money. I thought, fine, I'll finish it. Because I did. After I kind of got halfway through, and I was like, I need to Google this guy. And I was like, all right, well, I'll finish it, because I started it. And I really liked the end. And I mean, right at the end. The last bit, where we kind of get more into, the sci-fi fantasy. I really liked that. And I had a feeling that that's probably what the sequel's about. I don't know if I'll pick it up, but I really, really did like the end. But my biggest problem was, like I said, a 6-year-old who starts off at 6, just the way he's treated, and yeah, I'm still not sure, and you will not find my thoughts on the blog on this book, because I still don't know. So we're just gonna have to put it aside. Who did I read next? Following on from my awesome epic find of The Silent Companions, I picked up Charlotte Says from the charity shop, and I read it. I liked it, and I also felt, in my opinion, that it was a little all over the place. There was just one too many elements going on in the book, and I struggled not to follow it per se, but I struggled to commit to any of them. The flashbacks, I think that's spoiling it. The flashbacks were my favourite. That story was dark. It was awful. It was terrifying. The rest of it was throwaway. The author, Alex Bell, is prolific. So, you know, I can't even write like that. So, great. Not a stab at the author or anything, but I just didn't like it. I didn't care for any of the characters, and the author did off quite a few characters, which is fine if you want to off your characters, but I just felt it was done so quickly. There wasn't really any sadness, and I didn't really like it, unfortunately. But I did finish it. So I didn't like it, but I did finish it, and I did have some wonderful moments. And it's very easy to read. So 2 stars, I'd probably say. I'd probably give it 2 stars. But apparently it is the prequel to Frozen Charlotte, and you get a sample chapter of Frozen Charlotte at the back. That's definitely not for me, so I won't be reading that. So that is my thoughts on Frozen Charlotte. Charlotte Says. Sorry, getting confused. Next book I picked up, one book from a charity shop by itself. I didn't go nuts and buy tons, and that was Dear Amy by Helen Callaghan. And I now can't wait to buy the next book by Helen Callaghan. This book was amazing. I don't think I've actually told you what any of them are about. I'm sorry about that. But this follows I only read it the other day. Margot. And she receives letters to her Dear Amy column at the Cambridge Examiner, and from a girl that went missing 20 years ago, and a new girl has been taken, and the story goes from there. We follow her as she gets involved, she tries to figure out her own life is uncoiling around her. And the thing I loved most about this book, because the subject matter, in my opinion, it's hard to read. I struggle to read that sort of thing. I don't like it. But the way the book ended, I loved. Because, and I don't think this is spoiling it for you, but what I loved the most about it was that, yes, it ties up, but it doesn't tie everything up in a neat bow. So the end comes, and our leading lady isn't like, everything is fine, I'm fine, everyone's going to be fine, it's awesome. The story continues. Her story continues. And that's what I really liked about it. I would recommend this. And I would definitely, I'm going to give it a 4.5 stars, I think, because it's not quite up there for The Silent Companions, but Helen is amazing. And I would love to see this turned into a TV series. TV series, please. I don't actually have a TV. Well, I have Netflix, but I don't have a TV license, so I probably wouldn't be able to watch it. Netflix, can you pick this up? And then lastly, the book I am halfway through, so I know that I'll have it finished by the end of October, is The Green Mile by Stephen King. I am struggling, not because it's badly written. Halfway there. Not because it's badly written at all. Only Stephen King can talk about a mouse for pages, and it's absolutely entertaining and thrilling, in my opinion, because I've seen the film, so I know what's going to happen, and I don't want it to happen. I don't want to read it. However, halfway through, I'm going to do it. It's such a sad book. I'm sure there's sadder books out there, but I just know what's coming, and I'm terrified. But here we go. So that is the last book. So it's been a good month, actually. It's been a really good month, and I've tried books that I wouldn't normally try. Obviously, I am also aware that I would love to do another TBR, but it's pointless because my last TBRs just sat there. I didn't read them. I ended up buying new books that just pushed them out of the way, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that was me for October, so thank you for watching, and I'm sure I'll see you very soon.